All right, we will start then. Let's sit nice and tall. And since we've been seated, let's move around on our hips. Invite movement in and notice, because pain is something almost all of us experience at some time. And pain can be physical, but it also can be emotional, right? It can come in different waves, and it has different qualities about it. And sometimes it's an ouch and acute pain, and sometimes it's more of a chronic pain, which they define as usually lasting more than 3 months, which is a long time, right? Acute pain would be like stubbing your toe, getting burnt on the stove, and chronic kind of creeps in and stays there. And let's come back to center. And then there's the emotional pain. Right now, I was just at a talk, and they were talking about the loneliness epidemic, right? So that's a different kind of pain. Lower your arms down by your side, and mindfulness can help both of these. Lifting tall, pushing down through the feet, making space in your spine. So one thing we can do is feel the sensation of moving. So lifting the arms up and outward from your heart, and then exhale and lower them down. So really focusing on the sensation of moving your arms, spreading your fingers, and then bring the fingers towards each other. Feel the other fingers touching. Inhale, open up the fingers. Exhale, closing them. Inhale, reaching wide, making space, and exhale, crunching in the fingers. And then exhale, release down. So one of the precepts of mindfulness when we're working with pain, one of the most important concepts is to feel the sensation. Because one of the things we do is we try to run from it, which is a natural reaction to discomfort. And so part of the theory is to be with it. At the same time, we can move to different parts of the body and notice the sensation from moving them. Take your arms out and let's bend the elbows. Bring the fingertips in towards your shoulders and circle the elbows around and about, moving into the shoulder girdle. Neck and shoulder pain is very common for many of us. And so movement is generally a good thing, right? It depends. Is it gentle movement or more strengthening movement, fast movement, slow movement? But movement in general is a good thing. Gets the body moving, the circulation, and we feel the sensation of moving, reversing your circle if you haven't already. And then let's take our arms wide. We're going to bend one elbow, take the hand behind the head, and then switch it up. The elbows out to the side and switch it up. And like windshield wipers, Catherine says it's raining in Charlotte. We're lucky we got sun here. And then arms out to the side and lift them to your range of motion, right? We don't want to get to the point of pain. And this is something with the yoga that's a little bit different than other exercises, that we can focus on where in our body is it discomfort, because we tend to run from it. Feel your shoulder blades on your back. And then let's lean forward and take the arms back, palms facing each other. And then inhale, rise up, and arms lift to your range of motion. Exhale, swing them on back. And inhale, swing them forward. Nice long half circles that you are making with your arms as you sway your body. And perhaps you exhale as you move back and inhale as you move forward and up. So we exhaling out through the nose. We're inhaling up through the nose, breathing. So your respirations, your inhalations and your exhalations, they don't have to exactly match mine. And then arms lifting up. Good. Let's take a side bend now towards the right. You might release the right hand down, or you can keep it up. You might clasp a wrist. It's all wonderful. And let's lift really tall. So we want to get long on both sides of the body as we take our side bend now towards the right. Breathe in, breathe out, pull the belly in and up. And then let's open up the arm, lift it back skyward and bend the elbow, touch your, whatever touches, your fingertips touch back behind there. Feel a nice stretch here. So you don't want to feel pain, right? But you would feel, I call it a dull discomfort. Some people love stretching and they say, oh, this feels good. But some people say, ooh, I don't really like this very much. And then release the arm out to the side. Let's take it forward and stretch this way. Now, this is where you might feel a little bit of a stretch here, right in the upper arm area. Breathe in and breathe out. And let's release the arm down and curl our spine into cat, chin is to chest. And then inhale and lift up. So again, feel the sensation. You've done this move before. It's the cat pose. The chin's going to the chest. We're rounding over. Our tailbone is moving down. We're making a C with our spine. Then we inhale, we lift up, draw the shoulders up and back, and the heart's lifting, and the tailbone's moving back. So now it's the opposite C curve. Feel the sensation. There should be no pain. If there is, please stop. Maybe go back in again, but not quite as much. So maybe a half of the range of motion. Exhale, round your spine, chin to chest, lean back. Inhale, lift up,
Mindy,
up. Yep.
I have osteopenia. So what's the alternate straight back version of cat-cow?
Okay, so if you have, it depends where the osteopenia is. If they have told you not to round your spine like that, for the lower back, you'd round your shoulders, but don't do too much there. Or skip cat.
That's what I've been doing, is just doing forward fold, and also the top, just broadening my shoulders.
You could focus more on the back bend, but I agree with you. I feel like you could do, I also have some osteopenia in the lower spine, so I try to focus on the upper back more. So that would be an alternative, or leaning forward with more of a flat back would be okay too, like that.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, and you know, there's a lot of osteopenia and osteoporosis out there, so that's a great question to ask. All right, let's go back to the cat. So you can emphasize the shoulders, but not emphasizing the lower back. That's a possibility. Or leaning forward. And then we're going to go into our cow pose. So that's the back bend, heart rising, sitting bones moving back. Feel the sensation. And you want to really, really feel what is going on in this pose. Shoulder blades are coming together. Sitting bones are moving back. Other side. Let's lift. Now the right arm, grow tall through the sides of the body. Same thing here. If you know that you have something going on in your spine, you're either going to refrain from a big side bend, or you're going to make sure that where you're moving from is not that area. Pull the belly in, use your core as you find a side bend. Then you find where you should be. Should your side bend be here? Or should it be here? Or should it be here? But we want to stay long and tall through the side. So if we're moving to the left, we want to stay strong on this side of the body, right? Because that's where we're moving towards. And then let's open it up. And let's bring the arm up and bend the elbow back behind you. Now you might feel a little stretch here. Take a breath in and a breath out through your nose. Open up the arm and cross it over. Cross it over. Feel that stretch. Breathing in and breathing out, releasing. Circle the shoulders around and about. It's always good to ask your doctors, ask your clinicians, what is something you should be avoiding if you have these kind of conditions, whether it's pain in a certain area, hamstring tear, or osteoporosis or penia. Let's find a twist. So that's another one where we've got to be very careful if you got that condition, osteoporosis. So we're going to take the left hand outside the right thigh and push against. So it might just be a quarter of your range of motion. We're going to take the twist and then, or maybe you find the full one. Now I like to push the hand against the thigh. That gives us some leverage. Feel the shoulder blade come on the back. Breathe in and breathe out. And breath is in. And breath is out. Come back to neutral. Taking now the right hand outside the left thigh. We're still forward here. Pushing it against. That's our leverage. And then take your right arm back behind you. Breathe in. And breathe out. And breath is in. And breath is out. Let's move to center and take your hands to your hips. Pull your elbows towards each other without squeezing too hard, because that's going to bring it. So here's where we're paying attention to sensation. You want to feel your shoulder blades come together, but if you start feeling like tension in your neck or somewhere in your body, you know you may be pulling too much. Lean about a third of the way forward or a quarter of the way. You can always go more. Always do more. Let's push down through our feet. Release our arms, lift up, arms skyward. Exhale, hands to the heart. Let's repeat that a few times as though we were saluting the sun. Of course, last night was a full moon. Hands at your heart. So, you know, I'm really into that. We had a coyote howling with the full moon. It was quite an effect. Lean forward, elbows towards each other. Take your sitting bones back behind you. Feel your shoulder blades on your back. Sense your feet on the earth. Some of us have what? Neuropathy at the bottom of the feet, but there's still a sensation there. That's the mindfulness. Feel the sensation. And boy, neuropathy is no fun. That's painful too, right? Push down through your feet, arms out to the side, up towards the sky. Relax the shoulders. Bring your hands to your heart. Yes, grow tall. Let's add a little twist here. We're going to twist towards the right. Breathe in. Breathe out. Inhale to center. Twist towards the left. Breathing in. Breathing out. Coming back to neutral. Let's add on. Lift the right knee up. Circle the ankle around and about. Open the knee out to the side. Bring it back in. Push your shin into your hands, and you'll notice how you lift even taller. And then exhale and let the foot go. Let it go. Let's pick it up a few times. Inhale, lift it. Exhale, let it go. Inhale, we lift it. Exhale, we let it go. Now, you don't have to use your hands. You could just let it go and see how that feels. That's going to use more of the hip flexor as we lift it and lower it. We can use our hand and we don't feel it so much there, but maybe you just control a little bit more how it lowers down. There's a different sensation when we try it in different ways. And let's do the other side. So inhale, bring the knee in towards you, give it a hug. Circle the ankle around and about. Stir the pot with your toes. And then take it the other way. Breathing in. And breathing out. And let's open out the knee to the side. And bring it back in. And then take it out one more time. Bring it back in. Exhale, let it go. And let's lift and lower a few times and feel the sensation. Feel the sensation of letting go. Now you're going to determine, like, I just had foot surgery, so I'm not going to let that go so hard, right? Still got to be slightly gentle with it. But I think some sensation is good to feel it. So this is the mindfulness, because the mindfulness is going to say to us, how much sensation, what's pleasant, what's unpleasant. It helps us read our bodies. Let's take our legs out to the side in our goddess or horsey pose and sit tall. I don't know if any of you have done horse therapy, but I have students who do it and just love it. Just love it. Those horses are magical. Let's inhale and lift the heels, push down through the balls of the toes. If you're lucky enough to be near a horse therapy place, and then exhale and lower the heels down. Inhale, they rise on up, and exhale and lower them down. One more time, they lift up. Now, as they lift, push down through your thighs with your palms, draw your shoulders on your back, right? And you're pushing upwards your thighs into your hands and your hands into your thighs, and that's building some major strength. Exhale, lower the heels down. Now we can strengthen our hamstrings by pushing our feet down and isometrically pulling our heels towards each other. Now, if you touch down there, you're going to see hamstrings are activating. Then let that go. So feel the sensation of the muscles activating. That's the mindfulness. You throw around this word, mindfulness, and it's gotten a little bit watered down. So we have to bring it back to what is it really? We're feeling sensation in yoga. That's a big part of it. Push down through your feet, pull your heels in towards each other. Notice the sensation of the hamstrings activating. Keep pulling heels in towards each other. That would be on your exhale. Release. Let's do that a few more times on the exhales where you're pushing down and pulling in. So we take an inhale, exhale, push down, pull heels towards each other as you exhale, 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 release, let it go. Inhale. And people are going, what are they doing? They're not moving, but you know you are working. Push down through your feet, pull your heels towards each other, and let it go. One more. Inhale. Exhale, push down, pull heels in, even feel your pelvic floor tone, and release. Let's bring our right forearm to the thigh and circle the arm around and about, and you might follow the movement with your gaze. So you might be watching the hand as it circles around. Feel the fluidity of the arm moving. Your circle may start smaller and then it gets a little bit bigger, or opposite. Generally, we're going smaller to bigger. Feel the sensation. Where are you feeling this movement in your body? It's not just the arm. It's not just the arm. I'm feeling it here on the side of the body as well. Notice where you're feeling it. Let's push down through the feet. Open up the arms wide. Spread your fingers. Right arm over left. Big hug. Now push down through your feet. Pull your heels towards each other. Hug yourself hard. Open it up. Release the pushing down through your feet. Exhaling. Push down through your feet. Big hug. Crunch it in. Breathe in. And breathe out. Open the arms wide. Take your thumb on the inside of the palms, wrap your fingers around and circle your wrists. We got to juice up these joints, right? So we've circled our wrists before. What is the sensation you're feeling as you circle your wrists? Where is your mind in your body right now. If you are feeling the sensation of circling your wrists, you may not be focusing on the pain in your hip or wherever it's at, in your big toe, right? Because you're focusing on the sensation in your wrist. Unless that pain is throbbing so much that you just can't do it. But most of the time, the mind can move from one place to the other in the body, which is part of our mindfulness. Let's find our side circles. So now you got left forearm on the thigh, palm is up and circling the right arm around. Notice, we can notice the sensation in any part of the body. How about in the feet while we do this? Feeling the sensation of the feet. And take your mind back to your shoulder blade. Notice how the shoulder blade is moving as you circle your arm. So not just the arm that's moving. Breathe in and breathe out. Get ready. We're going to push down through our feet. Open up the arms wide. Turn the palms so they face away. Face away. Yes. Inhale, lift your heels up, push down through the toes. And now curl your fingers under, release your heels down. Lift it, palms face away, exhale, heels down, fingertips curl under, extend long. Release your hands down to your lap. Let's take our left shoulder towards the right, arm forward, half circle around, bring the palm back onto your thigh, other way. Now we've got right arm reaching to the left, circle around like you're searching for coyotes on a full moon and bring your hand back. All right, let's bring the right foot back to neutral and the left. Let's do that a few times. We're gonna open and close the legs. So, but use your palm and push it into your thigh as you lift the leg. So lift the right, take it out to the side, lower it down. Now to lift it back up, push down your right palm into your thigh, lift the leg, bring it back to center. Notice how you're using your hand to get some leverage there. Lift it, exhale it out to the side, lower it down. Lift it, bring it back in, lower it down. Other side. Knee lifting, outward, bring it back in, lower it down. We lift, pushing palm into thigh, out to the side, bring it back in, release it down. One more time. Lift, out, in, release, and let's open and close the legs a few times, and we will move towards standing postures. You are always welcome to sit for these. So I'm going to move these blocks out of the way. And how about we do a chair pose to get up? Now, if you know you're playing with chair pose and you need a counter or another chair in front of you, please do that. I will turn this way. And we'll play with lifting off. These mats need a little bit of straightening up there. Okay. So we're going to rock forward and back. And when you're ready, you might lift off. You might just lift your buttocks a few inches or millimeters, really. Doesn't have to lift off. It's the action, right? Shoulder blades are on the back. We're pushing down through our heels and our feet and lower down. Push down, rise up. Push down, rise up. What's the sensation in this pose? If we hold it static, it's going to change, right? Let's play with maybe taking the arms forward or they're on a chair in front of you, sitting bones back. What's the sensation in this pose? Where is the weight in your feet? Can you feel how it's moving towards your heels? Can you feel your thighs working? Exhale, lower down. If you're rising to standing, I want you, or really seated too, I want you to practice as you either lower down or as you stand up, pushing down through your feet and toning your legs and your hips. This is good for all kinds of things, but really chair pose is a variation of yoga squat or squats, right? So here we go. We're going to push down through our feet, push, push, push down as you rise up, feel the hips toning. So you're feeling toning in the legs, and then we're going to go back down, same way. So push down. As you take the sitting bones back, that pressure is going to change. Now it's in your heels, and then you're going to slowly lower down. So it's really the upward movement where you're pushing down. Seems contrary, but that's what it is. All right, let's do that a few times. We're going to rise up, push down, rise up, keep pushing down as you stand. Hug muscles to bone. Let's do it one more time because this is so much fun. Now, you can change your hands. Your arms can be forward. They can be crossed at your heart. They could be on your hips, and they could be in prayer. And I bet you got some other ideas. They could be forward and upward. So we're going to slowly lower down. You feel the weight. It's going back. Buttocks on the chair, weight in the heels. We're going to go and rock it. Rock it. You decide which hand position do you want. I'm going to take my hands like this just for the change of pace. Push down, push down, push down, push down. Feel muscles activate, hugging to the bones, on the legs, and in the hip area. Feel it, touch it. You'll see that it is firming. All right. Now, so when you do stuff like that, your muscles can get kind of, they can get tight. So then we got to loosen it up a bit. So maybe you circle your hips around and about. You might be against a wall or have a chair next to you for your balance. So circling around on your hips one way, and then we'll take it the other way. And you might soften your knees. Soften your knees. It's real easy to get in that habit of tightening or gripping in that area or pushing back in that area. So a little softening is a great thing to do. And let's come to mountain pose. And feel right here the sensation of mountain pose. Now, take a few breaths, and as you breathe, find a spot to stare at for balance. Maybe you're holding on to the chair either in front of you or to the side of you. Breathe in and breathe out. Feel the sensation of mountain pose. Now, for me, I like to close my eyes, but you have to feel safe. You might have both hands on the chair and feel the sensation of standing in mountain pose. I just noticed my knees were locking, so I'm going to give them a little softening back there. Notice where the weight is in your feet. Feel the belly toning. Feel the shoulder blades on the back. Breathe in and breathe out. Feel your neck and your ears right over your shoulders. Notice the skin on your face and through your body. So when we close our eyes, a lot of times we can tune in more to what's going on inside. And we're kind of taking the outside out, right? That sensory organ is working inside rather than the outside awareness. And so it just depends. But when we're focusing on the sensation, then eyes closed can be very, very helpful. Let's move towards a wall dog. So you're going to either face the chair of your hands to the back of the chair, walk back. As you walk back, feel your footprints. Feel your footprints, walk back. If you're seated in the chair, you're going to take your arms forward, kind of like chair pose, and it's still a forward fold, because down dog or wall dog is a flexion here. And so there's a hinging from the hips. The sitting bones are moving back. Feel your footprints press into the earth. Breathe in. Breathe out, lifting the rib cage up in case it's hanging out in a hammock. Breathing in, maybe bending the knees, and then inhale and straightening them, maybe a little bit, maybe not all the way, so they stay partially bent. Notice the stretch you're feeling in your spine. Breathing in and breathing out, and let's feel our footprints as we walk forward back to the chair. And let's play with some balancing with stepping the feet in different ways. So I want you to imagine, now you might have a chair on either side of you, maybe in front of you, just watch, don't bang your toes, okay? So we're gonna imagine we're standing in a circle that's a clock. So my toes are facing noon or midnight when the coyotes come out on a full moon. And so now we're gonna step the right foot forward towards noon. And then we're gonna bring it back into center. And we're gonna step the left foot towards noon and bring it back to center. And then we're gonna step the right foot towards 3 o'clock. So we're shifting our weight and bring it back to center. And then we're gonna take the left leg out to the side towards 9 o'clock and bring it back to center. And then we're gonna step back with the left foot and we are at 6. Feel your feet in this 6 o'clock. Feel your stance, bring it back in. So we're shifting weight. And so this is a balanced practice. It's a little bit of a cognitive practice. Now bring in the left foot towards 6 o'clock. Lift tall through the spine and bring it back in. Let's go back to midnight with the right foot and notice how you feel with your balance. So push down through your feet, hug your hips towards each other. You might have one hand at your hip and one hand on the chair, or maybe you have a chair in front of you. We're gonna move forward. So we're gonna take our sitting bones back, our shoulder blades on our back, and maybe you're here. Maybe you're here. Sitting bones are moving back. Spine is long. Then we're gonna push down through our feet, rise up, and step that right foot to meet the left. All right, now you're gonna step your left foot out towards 6 o'clock, bend the knee on the left side, and then switch it up and bring it back in. And then you're gonna do the same thing on the other side. Right side goes to 3 o'clock, bend the knee, bring it back in. See, I've got this chair's in the way. If it was here, it would be a little bit easier, wouldn't it? So I'll show it that way. Let's go back towards right knee is going towards 3 o'clock, bending knee, bring it back in. And let's bring the left towards 6 o'clock, weights transferring, knees bending forward, bring it back in. Let's go side to side a few times here. Bend the knee, bring it out. Maybe you play with your balance by taking one arm out to the side or both. Maybe, maybe not. All right, shift the weight, bring it back in. Yep, other side. Bend that knee. Knee is going towards the middle toes. Maybe you take an arm out to the side. Maybe you take both arms out to the side. Take the sitting bones back. Lift the heart. Feel the sensation. Leg is working. Maybe you take your hand back to the chair, switch your weight, and bring it back in. So of course, you know, switching the weight, the wider you go, the harder it is. So you might not go so far wide, take smaller steps with your feet. So it's going to be in the right stance for you to shift your weight. All right, we'll leave the clock for now and come back to mountain pose. Lift one or both arms up. Yep. Let's take a side bend towards the right. You decide which hand movement you'd like. You might have your hand on a chair, forward or to your side. And then we're going to take our side bend, keep pushing down to your feet evenly. Notice if the weight shifted to the outside of your foot. Breathe in, breathe out, push down through feet, rise up, hands to heart, feel shoulder blades on the back, exhale, arms down. One or both arms lift. Side bend towards your left, you're making a banana or a crescent moon shape. So the hips can veer a little bit to the side, like they're veering to the right as you side bend to your left. Notice how the weight is in your feet. I just noticed the weight in my right foot needs to be pushed down a little bit more towards the inside of the foot. Rise up. Exhale, hands at your heart. Let's take that forward fold for the sun salute. Sitting bones back, maybe hand is on chair, shoulder blades on back, maybe bending the knees a little bit, maybe taking the hands down the thighs or the shins. Keep long through the spine, lengthen the shoulders forward. Exhale, hands to your hips, one or both. Feel the shoulder blades on the back. Feel the crown of the head moving forward. Push down through your feet. Tone the muscles on your legs. Arms up towards the sky, belly toning. Hands at the heart. We're going to go back to the clock for pyramid pose. So pyramid pose in the clock would mean we're going to take the left leg back and the right leg forwards. The left leg is more towards 6 o'clock and the right leg is more towards noon. But in order to shift our balance, we might take that back leg a little bit more towards 7 o'clock or to the side so that our balance has a wider stance. And then you can take your hands where you will, either on the seat of the chair. Spine is long, sitting bones are moving back. We are in a pyramid. Now this may stretch this area that we were talking about with the hip area. You might notice, is it stretching it or is it aggravating it? That we need to figure out. Hopefully it's stretching it. If it's aggravating it, please come out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Feel the sensation of your pyramid pose. Breathing in and breathing out. If you want a little bit more intensity, you could push down through the heel and lift the foot up. That will really bring a little bit more sensation in there. You might even do a few little half circles. You don't have to, by the way. You can keep that footprint down. Then to rise up, long spine, push down to your feet, bending the front knee because we're going to transfer the weight when we're ready. We're in a warrior one stance. Maybe one arm rises, ribs move back, shoulders are over hips. Breathe in, breathe out, and shift the weight. Now to the front leg, bring the left leg to meet the right. We're back in a standing pose. Standing and in our mountain pose, and we'll work to the other side. I'm going to turn the chair for this side, just so you can see. Either one works. Now the left leg is going to be forward towards that midnight. The right leg is going to move back, and it's going to be more towards, it's pointing towards 5 o'clock or even 4 o'clock. And you can widen your stance for balance. Sitting bones move back. Hands move forward. And feel the stretch. You can always keep a soft knee. If you feel it locking, better to keep a soft knee in either leg. Now we might feel this on the outside of the left hip. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breath is in. And breath is out. Maybe you're pushing down through the heel and lifting the rest of the foot on that front leg. Ooh, it'll get into the calf. It sure will. Anybody needs a calf stretch, this is it. Make sure you're not locking the knee. So you can bend the knee as you push down through the heel. Place the footprint down. Let's bend the front knee. Come into a warrior one version. Pull the ribs back. Keep your hands on the chair or lift one or both. We are in our warrior one stance. Maybe one arm is lifting or both. That front thigh is working. The hips are forward. Notice where you feel. You might feel the stretch in the back calf. Where's the sensation in this pose for you? Is it in the back leg, the front leg, The whole body working. Let's bring the fingertips down. We're gonna shift our weight now to the front leg, and bring the right leg to meet the left. Come on up into our mountain pose. One or both hands are touching each other. Well, one or both hands are touching. That's lovely. So either your hands are on the front of the chair or your hands are touching each other. So feel how your body is in this moment. How is it in this moment? Let's do a little bit of flowing with warrior pose. This can be seated or standing. We're going to take our right leg out to the side, bend the knee, and move the back leg wide. So we are in our warrior two stance now. Where's the sensation? Let's bend and straighten that front knee a few times. Feel the sensation in both feet. That back leg is just as important as the front. Then when you're ready, same thing. We push down through our feet. Our ribs are over our hip points. Our shoulders are over our hips. Maybe one arm is out to the side, maybe both. Feel the stance. Feel the stance as you gaze over your front fingertips. Breathe in, breathe out. You're either going to have your hands on the chair. If they're not, then lift them up to the sky as you straighten the front leg, if that feels safe for you. And then exhale, bend your front knee again, arms out to the side. Inhale, rising. Even though we're pushing down through our feet, our arms are lifting. Exhale, turn the palms downward, back to warrior two. One more time. Arms lift, maybe gaze follows fingertips, but that's a balance. That's a balance thing. So we have to weigh what is best for us. Exhale, back to warrior two. Maybe you take the back arm to the back thigh. Hand can be at the chair or right arm is lifting up. We're in our reverse warrior. And we're going to come back to warrior two. We're going to straighten that front leg and turn all 10 toes forward. And then walk your feet back towards each other. And maybe just kind of jiggle a little bit. Release any tension that might have crept in there. And we'll step wide. Warrior two, left side. Bending knee over heel and ankle. Just kind of check in. Where is the sensation? Breathe in. Breathe out. Maybe you close your eyes. I've got my hands on the chair and I'm just taking a little check-in. But if your balance feels funky, please don't close your eyes. Since we're not together, I can't see what's going on. But you, the trick is, or the skill is for you to know what's going on in your body. Maybe one arm lifts. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe both arms lift. Out to the side. You might bring them back to the chair. Next time, you might lift your arms as the leg straightens. Ooh, feel that. Like stay right here. They call this 5-pointed star. You are stars with a big full moon night. Exhaling, warrior two. Inhale, your 5-pointed stars. Your stars. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, lift the arms, push down through the feet. Exhale one more time. Maybe hands to chair. Maybe you find your reverse warrior. Come back to warrior two. No rushing, right? Because this is building strength. This is your strengthening morning. And then lengthen the leg, bring the toes together. Everyone always thinks yoga is about stretching, and it is. It is. It's bringing our bodies in places we're not used to, or forms or shapes we're not used to doing. Oh my goodness. We must go down to the mat now. Time just flies. All right, so we're going to do a little bit on the mat. We're going to look at hips a little bit. or feel hips, I should say. So find your way down safely. Put the chair against the wall. Bring a blanket for under your knees. You have a block and strap nearby. I'm going to move this out of our vision. Come on down to the earth. If you're in a chair, that's fine. That's fine. We are going to come down onto our backs. And I'm going to place this for my head if needed. And then bring the straps. So you're going to get down however is safe for you. If you are practicing with sun salutes in some kind of way, you might do your forward fold, take your hands downwards. Otherwise, you're using a chair, right? And then you slowly come on down. Turn to a side. Come down onto your back. Let's do a little bit for our hips and legs. So slow. Feel the back of your head touch either the mat. You might have a little blanket under there, but try not to lift the head too much unless it's absolutely necessary. We don't want to pile blankets behind the head. Let's bring the right knee in and circle it around. Juice up that joint. Juice up that joint. Feel, I mean, you can't see the synovial fluid, right? But you could feel it. You can't, can you feel it? Maybe not, but you could imagine it, right? Imagine that you are stirring this bone in that synovial fluid, swishing it around. Good, and then pull the knee in towards you and try to lift the legs skyward. It may not stretch all the way. If the hamstrings are tight or the calf is, you may not be able to straighten it all the way, and that's okay. I want you to feel the weight of the leg bone. Feel the weight of this bone and see if you can feel the gravity of this thigh bone moving into the hip socket. Now, maybe you massage your leg a little bit here. You can use your thumbprints and make circles and put some pressure there. You could use your knuckles and kind of go down like this onto that IT band, which is a very, very thick muscle. Some people like to use those tubes and on the rollers. And then bend the knee back and towards you, give it a hug in, and then let's straighten it. Maybe take your hands behind the calf if it's available to you, and push your fingers into the back of the calf. Give it a little massage as the leg reaches up. Just a little massage. You might notice that each time you bend and straighten, it straightens a little bit more. Leg is pressing upwards. Let's point the toes away and flex them towards you. Breathing in and breathing out. Notice the sensation of the flexion versus the pointing. And now I want you to just feel for a moment with the leg up, this leg bone in the socket, wherever it is. Just feel, take your mind's eye to the leg bone and how it's inside the hip socket, right in the center. Breathe in and breathe out. Let's lower the leg down, place the heel down, drag it forward, stretch the leg long, and maybe lift the right arm up and back behind you. And stretch, 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 stretch. And then pull it back in. We'll do the other side. So bring the left knee in towards you. Give it a big old hug. Nice hug in. Maybe you circle the thigh bone around in the socket. And then we're going to slowly straighten the leg. You can massage the back of your hamstring as you lift the foot upwards. Now you can always use the tie if that's better for you. And give it a little massage behind the thigh as the footprint lifts upwards. And then we bend it back in and maybe hug it back in towards you. And then lift it back up, massaging along the back of the leg. You can use I like to use thumbs to get to the side, and middle fingers are kind of pushing into the calf and back behind the hamstrings. You might use your knuckles now on the left side and get to the side, the outside of the thigh. And feel the sensation of bending and straightening the leg. And feeling that bone in your hip socket. Feel the gravity of this leg, right? It's upward, but it's heavy and it's sinking into the hip socket. This is where the hip bone, the head of that femur, is happy. It's happy in that bone. I mean, in that socket. That's where it likes to be. That's actually when our nervous system goes, oh, that's nice. That's nice. Some people put both legs up and they have somebody put a beanbag or sandbag on their legs and they put their legs against the wall for a while. That's very, very relaxing. Breathe in, breathe out, maybe point and flex. Point and flex. And then when you're ready, you'll bend the knee back in and let it lower down. And let's find our hip stretch. So we're going to place the right foot over the left thigh and then pull the legs towards you until you feel a stretch. Now, if you feel a stretch here, stay right here, gently pushing the thigh bone away. If not, bring it on in. Bring it on in. Maybe even do a little bit of rocking to the sides and forward and back. And notice the sensation. What are you feeling here? Notice when you bring the knee back, what is the point where you start to feel sensation? Then stop. When you feel it, breathe in and out and feel the sensation in the hip. Now, if you're in a lot of pain, then you don't necessarily want to keep your focus in that area for very long, right? So you might just, quote, dip your toes in, attune to that sensation, but then move away to another sensation like your foot, because it's too much. That's when we know when it's too much, we need to release, modify, change. Let's bring the legs down and let the knees swish one way and then the other because it's raining in Charlotte. So we need our windshield wipers on. Breathe in, breathe out as your knees go one way and then the other, and then the other. And then come back to center. Let's lengthen that left leg. Take the left arm up and back behind you and stretch long. And then take both legs long and arms up overhead and point your toes and reach, 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 reach. Release. One more time. Reach, 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 reach. You'll notice the ribs lift up. Release. Bring the feet back in and find your version of this pose, the hip opener on the left side. Great, great pose to do seated as well. Find that place, maybe rolling around a little bit on the hips, massaging that sacral area. And then when you're ready, you pull it on in. Pulling it on in until you feel sensation. Now that foot is flexed, it's crossing over. I like to flex both, but you don't have to. But make sure you're flexing the left foot when you're on the left side here. That's really important for your knee. Breathing in. And breathing out. You could imagine that your breath is massaging your hip. That's another technique is imagery. Your breath is massaging, or maybe you're gently painting away or the pain, like you're making circles with your breath over that area and it dissipates and the sensation becomes less and less in that area. And then release, and let's do more of a fuller version of windshield wiper. I'm going to turn this way so you can see it. This will be our last pose before the resting pose. But your arms can be a cactus, and then you're going to allow one knee to fall into center. And maybe stretch that same arm back behind you. I got a wall in the way, so I might push that wall. It feels really good. And then come back in and do the other side. So we're not forcing anything. It's just falling to the center. And so you're getting some good length as you press away. And so then you can just kind of swish it right and left a few times. And then find your way to your resting pose. And that pose may be lying on your back in a butterfly. Maybe you put blocks under your knees. I'll show that. So I'll take you through a very brief, how you can but focus on pain and then take your focus away from pain in your body. So just for a brief time, because a body scan could be a really long time. It could be several minutes. It could be 20 or 40 minutes. You might even fall asleep in it, but we're just going to do a very brief body scan. So start by bringing your mind to the sensation of breathing. Your hands can be on your belly or down by your side. And by the way, you don't have to be in lying down butterfly. You might have legs straight or you might move during this. And bring your awareness to the sensation of breathing in your belly. So feel the rise and fall of the belly as you breathe in and out through your nose. And take your mind's eye to a part of your body that has a pleasant sensation or maybe neutral sensation. So that could be your left middle toe or your right thumb or your left leg or your neck, whatever it is. Bring your focus to this area that has a pleasant sensation. As you breathe in and as you breathe out. And then either stay in that spot or find another spot in your body that has a pleasant sensation. And bring your mind's eye, your awareness to that place in your body. As you breathe in and as you breathe out. Now for this next one, you could bring your mind's eye to another place in your body or one of the same places you just chose. Or move your awareness to a part of the body that is more unpleasant in sensation. And maybe just stay there for a breath and then move back to pleasant. Or stay there for a little bit and feel the sensation. So choices of either focusing on pleasant or unpleasant. Breath is flowing but soft and you're not controlling it. It just is. And then for this last part, you might focus on the whole body as a stream of sensation. Feel the whole body as a stream of sensation. as you breathe in and out. At any point, changing the position of your legs or your arms. And relaxing into your final pose. And if you need to shift in any way, you just do. You might put a bolster under your knees, legs up on a chair. Stay exactly as you are for as long as you like on this weekend in February, beginning of the weekend. Or we'll rise to seated by rolling to a side and supporting ourselves with our hands to rise up. We'll close our practice together with our hands at our heart. Take a moment to feel the body once again as you breathe. In a moment of gratitude, think of something you are anything that pops into your mind that you're grateful for. And feel the sensation of gratitude. I'm very grateful for our time together as a community and the support of the Michigan Parkinson Foundation. Have a wonderful weekend. I'm here for any questions you may have. Namaste, everyone.